Well, joining us now to bring some updates on these sports stories that are going around across the globe. Of course, Aaron Akerajola joins us now live from Abidjan. All right, Aaron, we see you. Sunglasses out. Games are being played. It looks like the football community is having a great time at this AFCON with a lot of upsets and interesting things going on. I don't even watch football, and I know there's a lot going on. But please give us the update on what's going on your side of things.
All right, Hawa, I want to say good afternoon to you. Timmy Tokwa, good afternoon to you also. Today is actually rest day, today and tomorrow, as we've seen a wave of football happen for the round of 16, and it was completed yesterday, and we've actually now moved into the next phase. But before the next phase begins, there is a hiatus that is going to happen today and tomorrow to give the players a little bit of breather, to give them some sense of reprieve as they get set for the quarterfinals. But let's tell you that there is no rest for us journalists here today. As you can actually see behind me, this is Kick and Learn, a community development program by CAF. And if you can just follow me, just behind me here, they have some ambassadors that actually come out to give back to the public. The truth is this, I must state this, one thing is certain, community development and kickback is something that you must, give back, I beg your pardon, is something that you must always do in sports, because the conveyor belt that actually breeds the next superstars must always continue, regardless of what happens. We know we have people at the top right now playing at the highest level, and that cannot be taken for granted. You cannot let space come between the present generation and the next generation. Hence, programs like this are very important. So they've brought in the likes of Fadiga of Senegal, our own Daniel Deboul Omakachi, and several other major stars are here in this particular secondary school to inspire the next generation, to motivate the next generation, and also give back in terms of pitches and equipment to kickstart the next level and the next set of Africa Cup of Nations superstars. That is how things are actually playing out right now.
Okay, well, Aaron, thank you so much for that. We understand that Angola has also been talking tough ahead of their match with the Super Eagles, coming up very soon. What more can you tell us?
All right, Timmy Tokwa, because since you mentioned Angola, let me just see how fast I can actually do this. The Angola national team, especially for their coach, has been the man that has coached in every cadre of their national team, from the under-15s to the under-17s. He coached the under-23 team that are meant to be the Olympic team, and now he's with the national team. So he's seen players grow through the ranks. These players he has nurtured over the years, and in programs like this that we are witnessing right now, has actually bred the next superstar. And you can see the Angola team looking very compact, looking very focused, looking like an indivisible unit, and that has brought them so much success. And he, talking about the Angolan coach, can afford to brag, can afford to probably beat his chest and say, we will do the unthinkable, which is to beat the Super Eagles of Nigeria. In a competitive atmosphere like this, the Super Eagles have never met the Angolans, so they are miles apart. The only similarity or the common denominator between Angola and Nigeria has to be the oil ritually they actually do have, and they have some of the biggest oil reserves on the continent. So save that we are miles apart, polars apart. But one thing is certain, on Friday, regardless of what happens, regardless of the build-up to the game, 90 minutes or 120 minutes, like we've seen in several fixtures, will determine who goes through to the quarterfinals. Whoever wins that particular game might just take on South Africa if they themselves can do their job.
All right, well, we'll see if they can do that job. Let's talk about Victor Osimhen, of course, the shining gem in our Nigerian football crown. It seems like he's been doing a little bit too well, more money, more problems. He's about to get screened for drugs, apparently, because of his high performance. What do you make of this? And is this a common occurrence in games like this, where star athletes get singled out for performance-enhancing drugs, allegedly?
Okay, let's put this. Let's put this to bed once and for all. No player or no athlete is targeted. Usually, there is a box, and players just go in there and just randomly pick. If you are selected from what you pick from that box or what you pull out from that particular box, you get tested. And we've seen Kelechi Promise Iheanacho, who hasn't even featured in this particular competition, also get tested. But we know that Victor Osimhen, Moses Simon, and the captain on the standing captain, William Troost-Ekong, all these three were all tested and they came out negative. To our relief, because we need these players. They are the crux of our national team, and they should be shining light and shining examples to the upcoming generation. And that is why being a clean athlete cannot be overstated, because it puts a blemish on what might, for some who have completed their time, like Lance Armstrong, what might have been a glistering career, having to have it tarnished by drugs or by doping is the biggest shame you can ever think of. Marion Jones can be included into that particular mix. That is why we always try to preach cleanliness and ensure that you actually perform fairly and to your optimal ability, and not try to spike your system to gain undue advantage, and at the end of the day bring your name to disrepute, bring the nation to shame, and bring the entire sporting community to shame, so to speak.
Aaron, any update, on Super Eagles goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali? Is he going to be fit for the quarterfinal?
Okay, if I were to sound off on that, we know that we are expecting the doctor's report today. So it is very important that we actually hold our breath to see what becomes of that. We are very, very positive that he might be given the all clear to go against Angola. But for now, the man is having to train alone and take it easy, because that knock to the leg was really, really bad for him. It was uncalled for, it was unwarranted, and it was really bad. And the man has shone like a million stars, looked a shot between the sticks, and I must tell you that we are just hoping that he can continue. Save that, we would have to fall back to Francis Uzoho or Olorunleke Ojo.
Well, Aaron, not being the football genius that I am, a lot of people had gone into this competition with favorites, right? There are some African countries that are very well known for their football. And apparently out of the top 5 favorites, they're all gone. So it's a bit of an unpredictable situation. Don't quote me, it's something like Morocco, Senegal, etc. Luckily, Nigeria is still there. So I guess it's hard to predict the way that these games are going to go. I want you to give me just a little bit of a prediction, very briefly, of how you think things will pan out.
Now, I've always kept one particular mantra at the course of this competition, which is simple. You snooze, you lose. Every team that has crashed out of this particular tournament, you've mentioned from 1 to 5, Senegal, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and to mention but a few, even the Black Stars of Ghana, who are still in the wilderness, had opportunities to probably force the run, had opportunities to probably win the game. But when you let yourself down, technically, tactically, just for a split second, you would have yourself to blame. If you do not take your chance, you would have yourself to blame, because we've seen teams that we expected them to go through fluff their lines from 12 yards. All right, of course, Nsue for Equatorial Guinea had the opportunity to put that game to bed, but he didn't. Yesterday, we saw Morocco's captain on the day, all right, stand there from 12 yards. We would have expected Hakimi to actually lose and actually fluff his line, or probably hit the woodwork on the day, when he has found the net more times than he has actually missed. And as they say, that's how the cookie crumbles. As it stands right now, nothing is given. They are the favorites. Everyone will be going into the fixture knowing that if you take your chance, if you utilize your opportunity, and if you hold your head high and not allow a rush of blood to the head or crazy decisions to happen, you are assured that you might just get a chance to actually finish on top of the game and, more importantly, progress into the next round.
Well, Aaron Akerijola, thank you so much for giving us sports updates. And of course, we wish our Super Eagles all the best.